Hello, good morning, students. And our next topic is about modal verbs. I hope you are doing your homework and you are catching up with some of other activities. This is the last topic that we are going to cover before the spring break, vacation or holidays. Still, it doesn't feel like holidays, but we have this week to complete our final topic, that is modal verbs. So I'm going to explain with you some of the usages of these modal verbs. What are their functions, their usages, and keep doing some exercise to practice. Okay, let's begin then. Okay, the first modal verb that you're going to see today is the verb can. Okay, this is can. And it is an auxiliary verb that is used for three main purposes. The first one is to talk about possibility and ability. Remember these words, possibility and ability. Also, you are going to use this verb to make requests. Okay, and other usage is to ask for or give permission. That's some of the main usages of this verb, that is can. Okay, so we usually see this verb very frequently in sentences. It is used also in some polite expressions. And I have for you the structure, okay? So let's check the affirmative sentence. I'm sorry for this, this is wrong. I'm going to explain and you're going to write correctly, because this is not correct here. Okay, this moves. I'm sorry. Okay, for the affirmative you have subject, in this case it's I, the auxiliary verb, remember that it's an auxiliary verb, can, and then you have the main verb, that is play, and complement. Remember that always the sentence has to have a complement. Now the negative form. The negative form, again you have the subject, in this case it's he, then the main verb, that is can, plus the negative cannot or can't, the contraction, and the main verb. Finally, the complement. This is important. With the third person, you don't add the s as in present simple. Okay, this is not like in present simple. So it's not cans or cannots, just can't or cannot, can't, depending on the sentence, okay? No ponemos S de la tercera persona cuando se trata de esos verbos auxiliares, como lo vimos en la estructura de presente simple, que se le agregaba S a las terceras personas. En este caso, esta regla no se cumple. Okay. Just to mention that The last is the question form. Question form has auxiliary verb at the beginning. Then you have the subject. Okay, this is inversion. You start with the auxiliary verb, then subject, main verb, and complement. Can you play tennis? Can you play tennis? Okay. So this is for ability. Let's look some examples about this verb. Okay, the first example, it says, the affirmative. He can play football or American football. Okay, I don't mean soccer, but football or American football. Negative, he can't play football. He can't play football. Right, this is the contraction here, as you can see. Then is the interrogative form, sorry. Can he play football? Can he play football? So you're going to use this verb only when we talk about ability. A ver, este verbo únicamente se va a usar para hablar de habilidad. Es decir, esta persona tiene la habilidad o la capacidad de jugar fútbol, lo cual puede ser diferente a una persona que pues tenga alguna discapacidad, tenga algún problema fisiológico, cualquier otra cosa que lo impida. Entonces solamente usamos ese verbo para habilidad o capacidad. Okay. Next one, it says, they can play basketball. For the affirmative way, they can't play basketball, negative form, and the interrogative, can they play basketball? Again, these people have the ability to do it. So they can play it or they can't play it. Okay, I think that is clear. And this one, it says, she can swim. She can swim. It's affirmative, negative, she can't swim. She can't swim. And interrogative, can she swim? Can she swim? You remember? In third person, there's no S. Okay. Affirmative, she can play tennis. She can play tennis. Negative, she can't play tennis. And interrogative, can she play tennis? Can she play tennis? Right, this is just for the modal verb can. Now, let's look at another auxiliary verb. This is must or have to. When we use this, when we want to express an obligation, something that is mandatory, that you have to do it because there's no other way in which you can not do that. It is necessary to do it. Again, you have the subject, in this case, I, he, she, it, we, you, they. Auxiliary verb, depending if it is affirmative, well, you need to add must or have to. Remember that those have the same meaning. And for the negative, well, you have to add not, and then we do the inversion. Like the example here. I must practice to be a good competitor. I must practice. He must not practice to become a good competitor. He must not, or he doesn't have to practice. Have to, okay, it means the negative way of have to. Something that is mandatory, as we mentioned. And the last one, must. Sorry, I'm missing here the subject. Must he practice to become a good athlete? Or must I practice to become a good athlete? Again, just depends on the subject. Okay? And now the examples. Affirmative. Athletes must or have to be in good shape. Okay, this is a must. It has to be done. Athletes mustn't or don't have to be in good shape. Okay, and interrogative way, have athletes to be in good shape or must athletes to be in good shape? Remember, this is different than can. Can is just the verb for ability. This one is for obligations only. Entonces solo vamos a usar este verbo must o su equivalente que sería have to cuando quiero expresar algo que es obligatorio hacer. Es un verbo auxiliar que se usa únicamente para decir que algo es obligatorio o necesario. Okay, just to recap or review, modal verbs for rules. For necessary and obligation, something that is necessary or an obligation, we use must or have to. Something that is allowed or ability, algo que está permitido. Parte de la habilidad también podemos usar para los permisos. Can, not necessary but allowed. Don't have to. No es necesario pero está permitido. No pasa nada si lo haces. Not allowed, mustn't or can't. Okay. You can't, for example, you can't bring your phone into the class. Or you mustn't use your cell phone in the class. It is not allowed. Okay. Son entonces las reglas para estos verbos modales que acabamos de revisar. Simplemente se usan dependiendo de las situaciones que tengamos. And again, you have here all the forms for you to check in detail. Okay, I explained this before with the third person, that there's no third person with modal verbs. Like this example, she must go, I can stay. And there is no auxiliary verb with do. I must win, he can play. Now, there's these last activities for today. You are going to complete the text with can, must, or mustn't, or the adverb form of the adjectives. Just remember we did an activities with this about the adjectives transforming into adverbs. Okay, so just fill the blanks for this. And the last activity, you are going to make a mini project presentation, and the instructions said, you imagine that you want to have an annual competition for your town. So you are going to decide a crazy competition. Remember in last presentation I show you some crazy competitions. You also watch a video and then choose one of the competitions. Now you are going to create one. The one that came up to your mind. For example, I can create a competition about worms. Race worms, for example, or who has the longest hair in the town, something like this, but a crazy competition. And then you're going to list the rules and the details about this competition, what is allowed and what is not allowed, using the modal verbs that you saw in this presentation. Okay, try to use them and do this list, and how many competitors are in this competition, if it is for teams or individually. Remember to give exactly the details about this competition. Okay, and then when you have this, you write a paragraph explaining the competition. Okay, so then I need just this schedule. You are not going to do the presentation or the whole, explaining the whole thing. Right now I just need you to do the 3. Para este proyecto vamos a comenzar primero con decidir una competencia que no sea como una competencia loca, como las que vimos en la presentación anterior. Les mostré algunas y también videos. Pues imaginen una competencia así de loca. Ok, y ya con eso vamos a listar las reglas, los detalles que ustedes quieran agregar de esta competencia, y al final explicándome los detalles de esa competencia, cuándo se va a llevar a cabo, cuántos participantes, qué reglas tiene, y al final ya nada más me hacen un párrafo explicando esto. Ok, deciden entonces su título, las reglas y lo escriben. No necesito todavía la presentación como tal porque la vamos a ir construyendo a través de la semana. O sea que la única tarea por esta ocasión es esta, la de elegir su competencia, las reglas y escribir pues una explicación sobre esta competencia. Si tienen alguna duda, por favor escríbanme, que sea dentro del límite del tiempo que les estoy dando. Okay, that's it all for today. Thank you so much for watching this class. Remember to do your homework, and I hope you stay at home. Take care. See you later. Bye.